I wore a suit and everything.
Go. Hi, everyone. This is Gary Wilson, and welcome to this week's live Path to Prosperity webinar. Welcome aboard all the students, investor agent students, flipping students, rental students, property manager students. I don't think there's any active wholesaling students, but in any case, welcome aboard. Pretty unique session tonight. Normally, these webinars are me and you working together, but usually once every month or so, I'll bring on a guest with something valuable that's in our closed network. This isn't open to the public. This is just for us. So we have Greg Hanna on board. Greg's becoming a very awesome friend of mine and a great citizen and is doing a lot of wonderful things for the world and has a great business, the internet security business, basically helping you keep your computer safe from hackers and attackers and ransomware, which is the biggest thing right now. Also created this awesome program to help us plan. So real quick, before we get into it, make sure you always get the recording the next day from Beverly, and it's going to be in an email. And look for the updates from Beverly, system updates to the calendar, changes of dates and things like that, and also announcements like Greg Hanna coming on board. So if you do that, you'll always be in sync. Also, if you're new, you'll notice by default you're in mute mode, and we will bring you on live every now and then. And I did get an email earlier from who was it? One of our recent students, and she was asking if she could put something on tonight's webinar. But tonight's webinar is special guest, so we'll do that next week. We'll get back to normal mode. But without further ado, let me introduce Greg Hanna. Greg, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastically well. Thank you, Gary.
All right. Hey, welcome aboard. If you could, go ahead and take us away, introduce, who you are and what we're going to be doing tonight. And everybody get ready to take some notes. And of course, you'll get the recording the next day too,
All right. Well, fantastic. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And thank you so much for sharing your precious time in the evening with me. And Gary, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So let me just tell you quickly who I am. My name is Greg Hanna, and that's my email address there. Feel free to jot that down, and we'll come back to that again, provided I can get this to move down. Okay, who I am. So I'm a frequent speaker at NASDAQ. That's where I met Gary. I speak on cybersecurity. Unfortunately, my video is not working. I put that exact suit on for you guys today, except I had a pink tie, and you can't see it. But I'm a best-selling author on cybersecurity. And my latest book is The Edge Planner, which we're going to look at the daily pages today because it's very thorough. And if you can get that right, it'll help you quite well with executing on your vision. And I hope you guys are thinking about a decade plan because we are into the new decade. And I'm right now on a media tour. Yeah, I'm wearing that tie in the top right. That's the one I have on. And I'm on a media tour right now talking about cybersecurity and technology for dogs and cats, if you can believe that. I love pets and I love tech, so it's a natural fit. And okay, great. So let's get started. So I'm going to guess you got here, to come to the webinar because you're going to learn a lot about neat stuff and how to be more effective. And I did say to Beverly, put down 5 mistakes that you must avoid to be more productive in 2020. But 5 mistakes, you really can't make any mistakes in life, right? We're all here trying to get things done, and we work really hard, and we give it a shot. Things don't always work out, but the only one mistake you can truly make, though, is giving up on yourself. So never do that. As long as you have hope in the future, you have power in the present, and you can get anything accomplished. Just know that. I want to say a quote right now from my favorite mentor, Jim Rohn, who's passed away in 2009, I believe. And he used to say quite frequently that if you work on your career, you'll make a living, but if you work on yourself, you'll make a fortune. So just remember those words. We're going to get back to working on yourself in just a couple of minutes, but that's what this is all about. So who am I? Why should you care? I started a business 38 years ago. I was 20 then, so, well, I'm not quite 58 yet. I have another couple months left, but and so what did I have to do? I had to hustle. I had to do everything that you guys are doing and they continue to do. And I still do that today. And I had to learn an awful lot about what did the most successful people, champions of industry, captains of industry, entrepreneurs, what did they do to be successful? So I had to work on those and figure those things out. I got a lot of great mentors, and I developed over the years a system that Gary showed you in his hands, and I'm going to talk about going over that with you. So the first thing that I want to talk about is putting a routine together, just like golfers stand up and they do the same routine, just like baseball players, etc. You have to have a routine, and your morning routine is critical. Where are you going to find the time? Simple. You're going to get up a little bit earlier. So that's the first thing you want to think about. And, I'm at the point now, I get up at 3. I don't expect you to get up at 3. I didn't get up at 3 for years. I used to be a 6 o'clock guy, and then it moved to 5:30, then it moved to 5, then it moved to 4. Eventually I got to 3 because there's a lot I want to get done, and there just isn't enough time. So let's talk about what the daily plan should look like. So I'm not going to talk about what the routine is. I'll tell you what mine is. So I get up at 3. I meditate for 20 minutes. And basically, meditation is sitting quietly, in a room that's quiet. And the whole thought behind that is so that you can clear your mind and focus on nothing. And when you do that, if you're a spiritual person or not, whether you are or not, there's great benefit to being quiet, not just for physical, but for mental reasons. And Napoleon Hill was famous for having this statement. It said, "Angels whisper to the man who walks." And, a great way to ease your mind is to take a walk in the woods and be alone with your thoughts. And the concept of angels whispering to you is inspired action is what it's talking about. If you read some of his other books, you'll also hear about this person that his whole job was to sit in his soundproof room that he built in his basement and just be quiet and then just listen. And people would pay him money. They would give him a problem and he would sit in his room in total darkness and quiet and meditate. And he would wait until he got the inspired action from, the mastermind group, if you will, universal forces, shared consciousness, whatever you want to call it, the Borg, if you're a Star Trek fan, right? And basically that's what he would do. So by being quiet, by meditating, it gives your mind a chance to, get all the clutter out of the noise out of the way, and you can actually listen and hear, and you'll pick up a lot of great ideas and inspired thoughts. And when you get those inspired thoughts and inspired ideas, immediately put a plan together, and if they make sense, take action on it. And that's the difference between, someone who is extremely successful versus mildly successful versus can't get out of the gate. It's really taking the action that's critical. All right, so meditate 20 minutes, 10 minutes of visualization. And what I visualize are my goals. I have 10 goals at all times, and it's a combination of lifetime goals, I'll call them, and immediate goals that might either be a month long or they might be a year long. But I try to have a good mix of something that's, 3 to 5 years out, and then, shorter term, maybe a quarter, which I love, and monthly. I even have day task goals, but we'll talk about those. And so I visualize on these goals. I walk through seeing myself succeeding in having that goal and achieving my vision and trying to make it as real as I can in those 10 minutes. And sometimes I only get through 1 or 2 or 3, but I try to pick the ones that are most important to me at the time, the ones that would really move my life. So when you're goal planning, I know Gary's walking you through all that, but when you goal plan, you make that giant list and you circle the 10 or 12 or whatever, go find that one, that if you accomplish that one over the next 12 months, it would significantly change and impact your life in all of the areas. It might be the one goal that is required for you to achieve maybe 4 or 5 other goals. Maybe it's a financial goal. Maybe it's a time freedom goal, whatever it happens to be. So that is just something to think about. Visualization is very key. Exercise is the next thing that I do. I work out, 30 minutes minimum every day, cardiovascular exercise, elliptical trainer, walking outside, whatever. And then 3 times a week, do some kind of anaerobic exercise, weightlifting, whatever, something of that nature. It's critical that you drink water. So make a goal based on your body size. you want to drink a certain amount of water. Some people say a gallon per pound. I mean, an ounce per pound, which is quite a bit. I shoot for 2 to 3 liters a day. So write that down and make that your goal. And if these are just some of the things that you do, then you'll start to see a change in your life. Now, many of you are probably already doing this, and might just be a reminder. The next thing that you want to do is to make sure that you eat properly to your plan. Now, everybody's different, every body type's different, but food is extremely important. And there are some great things that you should look into. Perhaps, carbs may not be the best thing in the world for you. There's a book called Grain Brain, and they talk about how potentially wheat carbs and those types of things actually dull your senses and dull your brain and may be a cause of dementia and Alzheimer's. So take a look at that. Very important to do that. Then, another thing that you should practice every day is positive self-talk. We're constantly talking to ourselves, and we can be saying positive things to our subconscious or mental or negative things to our subconscious. There's Gary, was friends with the person that I use, Shad Helmstetter. I subscribe to his monthly program, and basically it's spoken positive self-talk words on different subjects. Personally, I like Super Coach. It covers everything, believing in yourself, confidence, finances, exercise, eating right. It covers many things. It's fantastic. There's a 30-day free trial on that, and it's called selftalkplus.com. Check it out. If you decide to do it, it's $9.95 a month to have unlimited access for you and 5 people. So your whole family, or some of your family, if you have a giant family, can have access to this. And having positive self-talk, feeding your mind with good, pure, powerful, and positive messages is key and critical to success. So I know we haven't talked anything about being successful or selling real estate or any of that, but see, working on yourself, you can make a fortune. Remember I said that? Jim Rohn said that?
Mm-hmm.
We're not working on your job, we're working on you. The most powerful and impactful person in the entire life that is going to make it or break it for what your goals and dreams are is you. So you've really got to take care of yourself. The number one reason why people don't fail is lack of self-confidence. And if people truly had self-confidence, if they took responsibility that anything and everything they do in their life is really up to them, and they really had self-belief and self-confidence, then they will see their life really grow and really change. And by implementing these habits, so we're going to try to create these habits. And I'll tell you, this is years of work and development. The book that Gary showed you is 561 pages, and that's 1 quarter, that's 3 months, right? But I don't want you to be intimidated by that. If you ever decide to pick up a copy of that, just start working on something in that book. You don't have to do all of it. Everything that's new is hard when you first get started. But the point is you got to start. And the difference between the super successful and the mediocre or average success is the amount of continuous, consistent, persistent action and effort that you put into anything and everything that you do that has meaning in moving your life forward. Okay, I'll take a pause. Do we have any questions at all at the moment before we step in?
Yeah, if you guys have questions, go ahead and type them in now. So I'm looking at this page, what I'm grateful for, what I'm eager for, what I'm focused on, and my act of kindness. And it's so appropriate because it's exactly what I've learned too. I mean, every morning I literally write, some people call it a gratitude journal. I actually took it further. Here's a sample right here. I literally write a letter to God every single day, thanking for everything, not just the stuff I have, but whatever I want. You want to ask for what you want, okay, in prayer, and also give thanks for it. Give thanks for it, and give thanks for the things that even you might not necessarily want to give thanks for. There might be some bad things happening right now. And I get it. Believe me, you live long enough, you're going to have some trials. And Louis, I know you know what I'm talking about. I want to get back to your email later, but the point is you learn to be grateful for those things because of how they allow you to grow as a person. Okay. So what's interesting is there's an old saying, you can let something make you bitter or better. So what I'm grateful for is a way to overcome all those negative feelings, right? What I'm eager for, that's what you want, right? Acts of kindness every day, end of the day. blessings, kindness, contribution, appreciation. And I kind of think on those things and journal and check them off. And he realized how precious every day is. So in any case, let's just check the questions. We got a couple coming in here. Tanya says, this is amazing info. How long does your morning process? So let's go ahead and we're going to take that one first. Greg, there's another one following up on this. So Tanya wants to know, how long does your morning process take?
Great. All right. So if we set aside, the exercise and the visualization and all that stuff, when we talk about working in the journal, in the planner, it takes me about 20 to 25 minutes to set up the day. If I added in all the others, it takes me about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes every day. And the reason now why I get up at 3, so that I can have that time. So basically from 3 to 5 is 100% my time. And I go into my office, turn a little fire on if it's cool out, and I just get to it.
Awesome. I appreciate that, by the way. And then from Louis, by the way, Tanya's from Abilene, Texas. Louis from St. Catherine, Ontario, Canada. Louis is asking, Greg, do you write a vision and plan for different categories in your life, i.e. finance, business, health, family, friends, different, we call them different environments, I guess, if you will,
Yes, I do. So in the weekly plan, and we could slide up and take a look at the weekly page. I didn't want to confuse things too much because, as I said, there's so many pages. I split it up into these 4 areas. I split up to, my health, happiness, and well-being, take care of myself, and, my relationship with my creator first, and then everything else falls in line. My career next, my business and personal relationships, and my family. And those are the areas that I focus on within my career and within my family. That's where I plan my finances, because it's not for the sake of the thing, but the why behind, that you want to be a multimillionaire, billionaire, whatever your aspiration is. What's the why behind it? For me, it's my family. It's for providing them an extraordinary life. And that's what drives me.
Awesome. Okay. Take her away.
All right. Fantastic. These were excellent questions. And I'm in Texas right now. I'm in San Antonio.
All right.
All right. So fantastic. So there's 3 parts of the day. There's the morning assessment. So that's, where you are at the moment, what you're grateful for, what you're eager to do to get started on. What are you focused on? Now I'm focused on, these I like to use for personal things. Like I'm focused on being present and having situational awareness. Those are some things that I spend a lot of time on, trying to be present. We're so caught up, especially in my world, being a computer guy, I'm so caught up in my iPhone and in the digital noise all day long. It's difficult sometimes to stay focused and being present and having awareness. I mean, how many people have seen people walk into fountains and manholes and et cetera, because they're not present. They're just in their phone and they're just kind of slipping through life. So that area is an area where you'll spend some time focusing on different things to help your life and help yourself a little bit better. I think it's very important to be kind to each other. Gary has a great point. It's very important to be kind. And, I do it not so I can get kindness back, which is always appreciated, but I do it because I feel it's my right. It's my birthright to take care of others, that I share this planet with. And that's what, the reason that's there. I think it's very helpful to do that. What's an act of kindness, for an example? Well, today I'm going to hold the door for everyone I have an opportunity to. Today I'm going to smile at strangers, every day, just because I'm going to go out of my way to help someone, whether it be across the street or help them with a problem. That's just some examples. Buy people in the line of cup of coffee. Christmas Eve, I bought a $500 Starbucks card and I handed it back to the barista and I said, please, for the next, until this runs out, please serve everybody coffee or whatever they want on this card. I appreciate it. When I went back a week later, everyone was so touched by that they kept it going, for almost 4 hours. people kept on recharging the card. It was really kind of cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I like that. What would make today great? What are 4 things that would make today just incredible for you? Write those down and focus on those throughout the day. And then you got to remember to have fun, right? Because we're supposed to have some fun in life. So fun for me, figure out 1 to 4 things that you can do that are fun. Taking a walk on your own, grabbing a cappuccino, whatever it happens to be, do that. And then create an affirmation for yourself for today. Like maybe you woke up and you're, troubled about something or thinking about something or pondering about something. So make an affirmation, from that standpoint. I am a powerful, confident creator. I'm a fantastic leader. I'm building an amazing company. These are the things I'm focused on. So make an affirmation for yourself for the day. And then how will you improve today based on the results that you had from yesterday? Now, this is your goal section. One person that I follow pretty well is Brian Tracy, and Brian feels that you should write your goals daily. And I do that. I've been doing that for years now. A lot of people create goals and they put them away and might forget about them, but then they might find them again a year later, and maybe some have come true. Well, that's because they committed them to paper. You gave energy to them. You brought them out of the ether and put them in the physical world by writing them with ink on a piece of paper. That's why I rather do this in writing than digital. I'm a computer guy. People say, why isn't this an iPhone app or an Android app? That's why, right? Because it's that physical action, making it physical. So what are your top 10 lifetime goals? Repeat them every day, right there. And state them in the positive. I don't know which way Gary likes to teach, how to set goals. If I want to, let's say I have a weight goal, which I do. And so I state it this way. I know my ideal size. I want to be a size 33 waist, 44 jacket. So I say that I wear 33 pants and 44 jacket by December 31st, 2020. And that's how I write my goals, just like that. Whether that be money, a new car, new house, relationship, whatever. So that's how I do that. Self-reflection and introspection. This is really important. And you're not always going to have something, but if you ask yourself these questions over and over again, and these are really great management consulting questions, but you're managing yourself, remember, take care of yourself, build yourself, work on yourself. What can I do more of? So these would be the areas that that move the needle for you in your world, whether it be business, personal, financial, whatever area that you're thinking about. What can you do more of? If you're a salesperson, it might be having more meaningful conversations per day. Well, how many is more? 3 a day, 5 a day, whatever. So these are the areas. This is where you'd put that kind of stuff. What can you do less of? These are things that you could delegate that might suck all your time away. Maybe it's playing on Facebook today. If I was thinking about what can I stop doing, maybe it's playing on Facebook. Maybe it's doing something, reading email when I should be, writing or whatever. What can you start doing? What action could you take today, that if you put into motion would increase one goal of yours or finances or your company or whatever it is that you're working towards? And what can you stop doing? Now, this is a great exercise. If you wrote down everything that you did in a day for 30 days and put it on a list, and then circle the things that are critical that you and only you with your expertise and ability can do and should do, and you take that and then you work towards delegating everything else that's on that list that you're doing, and you focus 100% of your time on just those things that move the needle in your company. Now we're talking about creating exponential growth. So these are just some questions to help you develop your mind and start thinking a different way. Now, knowing what you know, what wouldn't you do again? Well, this is kind of a loaded question. You can use this in any area of your life. Some people use it in relationships. Some use it for customers that they bring on or something, or business that they got into, maybe they shouldn't or couldn't do. So that's another area. On this page, now we get into the meat of the page. So that was the beginning of your day, setting you up. And now we're getting into the action of the day. However you want to call it, most valuable priorities, number one priorities, figure out what's the most important thing. If this is the only thing you can get done all day, what is the most important thing that would move the needle in your business for you for what you are, destined, to do, that nobody else in the company can do, that only you can do. These are the things that we're talking about. It's not something that somebody else could do. These are them for you. And, really, like 3 is usually the max, but I put 5 because some people like to do that. Sometimes it's 1. And really, you should sit down and do it to completion if you can. I know it's difficult in today's world, but every interruption takes 20 minutes to get back into deep focus. So people think they multitask, really they're task switching. And each time they switch, they have to really get entrenched and, get into that mindset again. And that can take up to 20 minutes. So think about all the productivity that you lose. What I like to do is I like to shut my door. I have a glass door and I set a timer. It's a method called the Pomodoro method. And we could talk about that sometime. But and basically, you set an amount of time, and that's your focus time, and you work only on that task during that time and nothing else. And if you blow it, you have to go to the bathroom, somebody comes in and talks to you, you have to start the timer over. But if you focused in, and I'll tell you, this is 561 pages. I wanted to do it. I needed to do it. I sat down on a Saturday, and I had the rough draft 100% completed by Sunday night. And we're talking 2 days. We're not talking a week. We're talking 2 days. Had it done. I had to get it printed by that Tuesday. It had to be to the printer because I was going to Las Vegas. And I wanted to bring Gary and other people a copy and to show it on TV. And so I got it done, and I found a printer and so on. It's a perfect? No. That's my prototype. These are the new pages. We worked out some things. Total time and time. Give it a little bit of an estimate. People think that things take a lot longer than they do. So start really gauging. And what are the key actions? Not a million things. If you got to sell $10,000 today, what 3 things are going to make that happen? How long is it going to take each one? And then what's the total for that one little section? So you have 5 of those for business. Personal and business life are so intertwined these days. They have to be on the same page. So you've got some space for personal stuff. And then we're talking about KPIs, key performance indicators. That's what KPI stands for. And basically, it's a metrics to measure a result. So what is your KPI? What is the number one key indicator that moves your most important priority? So for me, let's say I'm focusing on sales this quarter, which I am. My number one KPI is meaningful conversations. That means a conversation with a person that can say yes, not a person that can say no. So for me, that's a CEO, business owner, president, COO, CFOs. It's a C person. They can tell me yes. And so my KPI is meaningful conversations. The count, this is the old tick tracker. So you put down / cross, so that's 5. And that's how you do it. I like to have 5 a day. If I'm real busy, I go for 3 a day, but mine is meaningful conversations, and I keep track of that. All right, on the right-hand side, we have the inspired action plan. So this is where you would plan your day. So you've got your most important priorities up there we looked at. Okay, number 1, map out number 1. What time you're going to start it and what time you're going to finish it, and then block that out, and then block out the next one and the next one, and put in lunch. Don't forget that. Put in whatever you have to do. What are the little tiny tasks that pop up that you might have to take care of? Call this customer back, Verizon bill went up too high, whatever it is. What are those tasks? Put them there. And then some spaces for personal tasks. And then any inspired thoughts or ideas that pop in your mind, just throughout the day, just jot them down. All right. At the end of the day, we take an assessment. Well, maybe before we get to the end of the day, are there any questions so far on any of these things that you could think about?
Yeah, we know that we have another question for Louis, Greg. Louis is asking, are you able to not touch your phone or emails for, say, until 11 a.m. to work on your business and stay away from reacting to everything?
Okay, am I able to do that? Is that what the question, me personally?
Like you're able to, say, put your phone away or not do emails, that kind of stuff, say like till 11 a.m. Yeah, I can't do it till 11. I know some people say, there are some coaches out there that say, don't even look at an email until 12 p.m. I think that's a little bit difficult these days, especially with the younger generation, the millennial generation, is communication is texting and emailing.
and immediate. If you've noticed in business, people's tolerance and patience has decreased. And if you don't get back to them quickly, they're on to the next person, as far as I can tell. It's how it works in my world. So what I try to do is I will check my emails after I've set up my day. I'll check, so I'll do all my planning first, check my emails, get into my MVP number one, most valuable priority number one, do that, check my emails, get back into the next one. If somebody interrupts me and I have to do something, I'll take that moment. All right, they already broke my concentration. I'll take a quick check on the email. But what I try not to do is get sidetracked and kid myself that all the activity I'm spending doing email is productive, because it's usually not, right? You know what's good and what isn't. Pick up a subscription to, it's called SaneBox. I've been using this for years. SANEBOX. And that'll integrate, and that saves me on average 13 hours a week, because it knows, what's important and who's important to me, and it puts that in my inbox, and other things it'll put into the later folder or throw into the black hole that I never have to deal with, different things like that. So check that out. It's using technology, to be more, do more, and have more, and that's an important thing to do.
SaneBox. Yeah.
SaneBox.
What I do is, so I get up usually, 5 in the morning, and then I do my morning ritual, prayer, meditation, exercise, and, shower, eat. And then before I even turn on the computer or the phone, but if there's a task I have to complete, I can still get those done before 9. So really, in a lot of cases, I'm not even turning on the rest of the world till 9 a.m.
Wow.
But I do blocking. So what I'll do is I'll have a couple hours, emails, phone calls, all that stuff. Then I take an hour or two where I'm focused again, focused action on a particular goal.
Yeah.
And then I'll, have lunch, and I'll open back up to the world again for another hour or two. Then I'll focus again for another hour or two. So I do that, basically 4 chunks a day. And, at the end of the day, I also do another round of exercise, eat, spend time with my family. Usually it's over the phone.
Wow.
Yeah. But I don't have a TV. I never watch TV. So I go into reading, and, really have a pretty full day. I never get tired. When I'm ever really home, which doesn't happen a lot, and I have a day where I don't plan anything. If I'm not doing something fun or something engaging or active, it's not unusual. I can literally fall asleep in a matter of minutes.
Yeah,
fast,
me too.
So.
Oh, that's fantastic. And, I jotted down, thank you so much, Gary, for your daily, written scripting that you're doing in prayer. I say it out loud, but I think saying it while I write it is going to be very powerful. And thank you for that.
Yeah. And it's amazing. All these things, I wish I could take credit for, but I've just learned all these over the years from some really good teachers and coaches. That some are still with us, some are not, some have passed on. Some of it I developed myself, but it's usually because it was arrived at for me learning something else prior to that,
That's right.
Old saying, you take something and you add it, improve it, make it better, or whatever. That's really what I've done,
That's right. And really, that's what this book is. This is me fine-tuning what I've learned from others over 30 years and put it all together. So as my grandmother used to say, honey, there's nothing new under the sun. She's right. We all just keep learning and growing and helping each other. All right. End of day. So top wins, it's great to reflect on your day. What were the top wins that you had? Try to come up with 5, but if there's just 1 or 2, put down 1 or 2. You'll get the hang of it once you start doing that. Now, this is a check-in. This is your personal check-in. Now, you can only be honest with yourself. That's how it goes. You're an entrepreneur. You're a business owner. This is a second income. Whatever it is that you're doing, you can't fool yourself, and you can't hide from yourself. You can hide from others, but not you. So this is where you check in. And you give yourself a check. Did you do fun for me? And the reason I have 4 checks is because maybe you can only do 1. So just do the 1 and get the benefit of checking that 1 box. Update my scorecard. let me show you. Let's see if, did I take a snapshot of a scorecard here? Let me see if I did that. Have a scorecard here somewhere. Let me minimize that. And, you know, I think there's one in the front of this book. Oh, yep, I just passed one. Let's take a look at a scorecard. Okay, this is a scorecard. So there's 3 of these in each book, because there's one at the end of every month section, because if you look across the top, you know, it's number 1 through 31. So that covers your days, and then going down this way covers what it is. So the name of the book is called The Edge. And so this is how you get the edge. So this is the edge right here. This is the daily plan that you want to commit to doing every day. You want to work up to that. If you're not doing this all right now, these are things that I found from not just my own life, but everyone I've studied and interviewed over the years. Meditation, visualization, positive self-talk, exercise, drinking water, taking supplements, eating to your plan, whatever that is, and reading at least 15 minutes a day. You know, if you read 15 minutes a day every day, you read like 20 books in a year.
Yep.
So think about that. You want to feed your mind. Feed your mind. Now, here's a place that you'll put your own tracking that you want to do. What are 4 business KPIs for the month? And what are 3 personal ones for yourself? And then you'll track those every day. And then at the end, you're going to sum up all the checks or X's, however you want to do it. I use X's because, you know, the boxes are tight. And if you don't do it, you know, you'll see a trend. There'll be like a few days that they're all white and you're like, oh no, I got to get back on track. So this really helps hone in on what's important. So you write down the most important things in your world right in here, personal and business. And then this really keeps score. And at the end of the month, you sum them all up and you write down the total. All right, I meditated 28 times. I visualized 28 times. I did positive self-talk 30 times, whatever it is. And then those are your results. And then you'll know where to improve, and you'll write down, how will I improve this next month? And that's the scorecard. That's what that looks like.
Okay.
Okay. And now we'll go back to end of day. Did you execute on your number 1 KPI? Did I get those 5 meaningful conversations today? If I got more than 1, I'll check it off. Did I get all 5? No, but I'll use this margin space right here, this white space, and I'll write a note. Got 3, you know, whatever, check. Did I do my act of kindness? You know, did I practice my focus? Did I continue developing my new habit? In the quarterly plan, there's a section that you'll write out 3 new habits that you want to develop, 1 a month. And you practice it for 30 days to develop that habit. So you want to keep that thought in front of you. Now, it's all in one book. You can go right back to the beginning and look at your quarterly goals, and you can see what your habits are. Now, this is a real important one. You know, I mean, I told you, you know, everyone struggles with, you know, one of our coaches calls it, who am I? You know, who am I to deserve this? Who am I to deserve that? You know, people are always constantly working on self-confidence. And so if you say to yourself, you know, a personal, like a mantra, I like myself, I love myself, whatever, I like myself, and I know that I'm responsible. So it's in your control, right? It's an action that you can take right now to make your life better or worse tomorrow, and the choice is yours. Now think about that, right? So what does that mean? That means if you want to lose weight and you choose to eat 4 slices of pizza today, you're going to weigh more tomorrow. It was your choice. So that's what we're talking about. So that's what responsibility is all about. Once you like yourself and remind yourself and you have responsibility, then now you're in charge, right? And you're not under control, and now you feel free. And that's really what it's all about, is taking back your personal power. Okay, what did you do right today? 3 things that you did right today. What will you do differently tomorrow? 3 things. Maybe you read too much email. Maybe you got distracted. Maybe you didn't put an hour or 2 focused into a most valuable priority. You know, in Gary's case, maybe he only was able to get to 3 blocks of time instead of 4. So you might say that. I'll get my 4th, you know, make sure I get 4 tomorrow. Knowing what I know now, what will I not do again? Okay, that's an important one. And what signs of positive attraction did I notice today? Now, this is really important. People, for years they talk about the law of attraction. They talk about, but really what we're talking about is sowing and reaping from the Bible. And that's what law of attraction is all about. As you sow, you shall reap. And what's very important, though, is to notice nice things that happen to you. Positive attraction, not negative attraction. That's everywhere, right? Just turn the news on. I'm talking about positive attraction. Notice that. Did someone, I look every day. Today, I was in the plane and I was putting my trench coat on and I was doing this and that. All of a sudden, it was like the back of my right sleeve was floating because the guy behind me helped me put my coat on, and out of the blue, right? I mean, because I'm like, that's a sign of positive attraction. I'll take that.
Yeah.
That was amazing. The day before Christmas, I came out of taking a customer to lunch, and on my window was this great little postcard that a little girl or a little boy wrote. And I wish I had it with me, but basically, it said, never worry, you're an amazing person, always doing amazing things. Something like that. And that was on my windshield. That was amazing. It was, what a great day I had. That was a sign of positive attraction. So notice those things, be in connection, be present, and be aware of what's going on around you. That's also how you might get onto a new business opportunity, is keeping your eyes open.
Years ago, I was still in the corporate world, and I used to literally go to work and be there at 6 a.m. That's how crazy it was in the corporate world. And one day I'm walking in, and just in a bad mood, just basically angry. I don't even know what it was, quite frankly. And there was a doorman at one of the buildings I walk by every single day. And I happened to look up this time to look at him, and there he is, smiling as bright as he could be. And all of a sudden, I started smiling, and my whole day just changed in a fraction of a second.
Wow.
Because that doorman, he probably, it's just amazing. God sends angels across our paths all the time. It's sometimes you're aware of it, sometimes you're not. But I never forgot that. So I'd done that before. I'd walk into an elevator, and I just look at people, just start smiling. Some of them think I'm probably crazy. But you'd be amazed at how many smiles you get back. Doesn't have to be like a big crazy grin, just a simple smiling nod, and people smile and nod back. And it really is true. It's powerful, and it's amazing. You remember I told you I don't have a TV?
Yeah.
So what's happening now is I'm so aware now when I go to other people's homes, particularly my parents, and they've got the TV on. One of them watches Fox, the other one watches CNN. So imagine that, And they both are having the same emotional reactions to what they're watching, and it's never good. It's always like anger or frustration. I'm like, turn that crap off, man. Let's go outside and watch the birds and have a talk and have fun. And it's amazing how obvious it is now that I don't have a TV. And so I'm more convinced than ever. When I go to a hotel, I'm constantly at hotels, Greg. When I go downstairs to have breakfast, there's always the TV on. Again, it's either Fox or CNN. I make a habit now. I think it drives people crazy. I'll sit at the table directly underneath the TV, but I'll turn and face outward. I have my back to the TV. Of course, everybody else is watching the TV. There I am looking out. Anyways, this is my sense of humor, but
that's awesome.
I'm making a statement. I'm turning my back on the negativity is what I'm doing, and focus on the positive.
That's right. That's 100%. And you do that, and you look for positive attraction, and you do 25%, do 10% do 5%, do 1% more of this than you were doing before, and watch your life change.
Yeah. It's amazing. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's great. No, I love that. I'm here to learn too, right? My favorite reason for doing these, or any kind of training or teaching or speaking, is because that's my own self-motivation. I'm sure you feel the same way when you're training, right? You get yourself excited.
You do. The teacher always learns the most,
That's right. The last part of this daily section is just a blank piece of paper. And, thinking on paper, planning I think it's kind of like a lost art. Many people work out of their heads. I want to say most people work out of their heads. But if you take the time to plan, even if it takes an hour to plan, you could save hundreds of hours for just that 1 hour that you took. And by planning on paper and thinking on paper, you'll put something that you can see clearly, that you can understand, the good and the bad things about it, adjust it before you take action, and then implementation. And, then you're really onto something. Do we have any questions about that?
Yeah, I think I think we've got the questions cleared up now, but I like this last part because I know what I do is the same thing. Stuff just pops up in your head when you wake up in the morning. Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night. Sometimes you're just driving. I always keep my planner open to the notes page. I can quickly jot something out, even if it's just 2 or 3 words. It's enough to trigger my recall function later on.
Yeah.
And I can further develop that idea. But it's just and I know probably people are saying, hey, Gary, you got a phone, you can just do it on your phone. I do that too sometimes. I'll just pick up my phone and do a quick little recording there. Unfortunately, when I do that, though, I tend to forget that it's on there. So
that's
write it down.
That's
it becomes
thing.
real.
It's true, writing it versus that. A nice thing that you'll like on the new one, Gary, is as I said, the first printing had to get done fast, and it doesn't have stay open. It's not a lay flat book. The new one is lay flat. It opens even on the first page. It stays open flat, which is great. But I guess we could take another area. So kind of what Gary was talking about is creating like a master task list, I call it. So these are all the thoughts and ideas that just pop in, and then you just write them down in one place and then go back to them. And if you move them to work on it, then you would check this box, and if you completed it, you would check that box. But just having them all in one place. And there are other types of lists that you might want to keep. So we can come into fun to do or have. We have one of those. We've got books to read. What books did you hear about? That's a real sign of attraction, is if somebody recommends a book to you, that could be an angel in your path. Read the book. It might change your life. How could you improve your finances? Maybe you're going to save, an extra $1,000 this month or whatever. So a plan for that. Dreams big and small. What are your dreams? What would make an exceptional and extraordinary life for you? Just write them out and turn them into goals, the ones that excite you. And then just blank ones. What other categories are important to you that you'd want to capture and track and have a list that you could work on? And, that's what that section's all about.
Okay.
Well, good. Cool. I don't want to overstep my time. I think we're probably closing in.
Yeah, if you could. Now, is there, for you, everybody watching tonight, go ahead and just kind of type a chat box. Let us know what you're thinking. Is I don't know, Greg, is there a way they can get like this is obviously quite, it's could look intimidating. I don't think it is because I've been through it myself. But is there a way they can get something like a sampling of this or one section, like the first section went over? The people start playing with and executing. I know normally you're used to working with people on cyber security, but I think what I know about you and what I want to encourage for people to understand is people who really succeed at the highest levels, it's not necessarily what they do in the world of business. I mean, it is on the surface, but it's who they are as a person underneath that makes it all happen. And this is part of what Greg does. So my suggestion to you is, I would seriously consider doing what Greg's doing, and if he can help you do it, absolutely do it. So Greg, there's a way for people to get a hold of you, get this information, whatever the case is.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. So I'd be more than happy to send you this day section PDF, so all those pages we went over, just to help you get started and get you thinking a little differently. And if you want it, just send me an email and put Gary's name in the subject line and send it to this email, greg@greghanna.tv. And I would say by Friday, I'll send it to you. I'm still traveling. I'm running around doing TV, which is kind of fun. And if I can, I'm flying home for a couple of days tomorrow. But I'll promise to get it to you by Friday, if not sooner.
Cool. Hey, Greg, while you're down there, go down by the river if you haven't. Do the river walk. Okay.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea. I'm actually staying at a Riverwalk Marriott.
Oh, cool. Yep.
So I should do that.
Great little central southern Texas city, San Antonio. So, yep. Well, listen, let me do another quick scan. For everybody listening and watching, thank you for participating. And Greg, thank you for sharing your valuable time. I know it's right smack in the middle of winter time down there. So I really appreciate you doing this. Let's see, we got another chat here real quick. Let's just, if I can bring it up. Oh, here it is. Let's see. From Louis, thank you, Greg, for sharing and helping us get started with better habits. So thank you.
You're welcome. Pleasure.
Louis, listen, everyone, I will see you next week, which is going to be January the 22nd. That's a Wednesday. We're going to go into our databases, how to create them, how to manage them, how to maintain them, because that's your goal. Your business is your database of contacts. It's just as simple as that. So we're going to start on that. In the meantime, if you want to get, Greg, you want to put that the email up there again one more time?
You got it.
And I'm going to just type it in here for everyone. So Greg at greghanna.tv. And there you go, everybody. So it's now in your chat box. And Beverly will probably put this on the email that goes out tomorrow with the recording off. But everyone, take care of yourselves. God bless you and your families. Have a wonderful rest of the week and a great weekend. And I will see you next week. And Greg, thank you again. And Greg, just hang on just a second. We'll see you all later. Take care. God bless.